What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Code, DCU, Penn's Finest, Chris Coacher, CB Coacher Boy. We got another spectacular episode for you guys today. We will, of course, be recapping the Super Bowl. This is coming a little bit later in the week, scheduling issues. We, of course, wanted all three of us to recap such a memorable event, particularly for me and Danny in Philadelphia history, and Chris in one of the greatest hate watches the world will ever see. And for a lot of America on the greatest hate watch. But that's pretty much all we're getting into. Just want to remind you guys, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications so you don't miss a single upload from this great network. And then, of course, go do all the same things on our regular channel, which I may have a video coming for y'all soon, whether it's going to be there on my main. But it's going to be pretty funny. Ish, I guess. It's not the point isn't comedy. It's a funny coincidence. But and then audio listeners, leave a like, follow, 5-star review, comment, all the good stuff. But let's swing it to Danny for Summits and Plummets. Danny, you are on a training trip per se.
Yeah, so I have a work trip up in New Brunswick right now. We've been up in North Jersey for the last since Monday. So my summit's going to be the meal vouchers and meals. So with our corporate card, we get to use $65 worth of meals a day per night for dinner. They provide all the other meals. So we've been eating good, to say the least. All you can eat sushi, steakhouses, all that.
Can't be mad at that at all.
Can't be mad at all. And my plummet is pretty simple. I don't know if it's sickness or if it's yelling or celebrate. I don't know what it is. My voice has not recovered from Sunday at all. And it's like, I feel like it's going to be eternally scratchy.
Maybe.
At this point in time. So,
maybe.
Yeah, dude. Another summit. Jalen Hurts is now 4 of my backgrounds right now.
I have two. I'm being real picky. I have the one where he's in the crowd and the spotlight's on him, and then the one where he's sitting down with the cigar, the Lombardi, and then the Jordan. Dude, that is right out of a Jordan ad with the Jordan snow bro. That's ridiculous.
This one's pretty good too.
That was pretty solid, but like I'm gonna be honest with you, that looks like you just have a man crush, which no one's judging. What one would say it's not ridiculous to do that, but
that's not ridiculous to say. That's not ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous to say that. It's not ridiculous. What whole time the bit of that video, it was entirely ridiculous to say. He said, I don't even know if Kobe's on one of the top 5 greatest Lakers. That is insane. What? And I don't care if it came out of Jason Williams' mouth. That is ridiculous.
That's like saying
not one of the 5 greatest.
That's like saying AI is not a top 5 Sixer.
Yeah, it's entirely ridiculous. And even if you want to go from the part of, oh, well, maybe best player or players to put on a Laker uniform. Okay, LeBron's one by default. And then if you want to go to the extreme, like Shaq, Magic, and then like, I'm going to be honest with you, it stops the ridiculousness, the insanity stops there. Me personally, if we're going that way, I would still put Kobe at 2. So it doesn't really matter, but it'll be 3 because Kareem's my 3rd best player. But regardless, let's go to Chris though.
Summit. I have to watch Kyrie get 40. That was nice. It's always nice to see Kyrie get 40. And it further pushes my agenda that Steph Curry better career, Kyrie better player, but we'll talk later. Watch the.
You may not know now, but later you'll understand.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It's been written already. I'm using all these quotes. It's been written. It's been written. They can't mess with you. I know.
Has to be.
Kyrie had a purpose before Curry had an opinion.
That's all I'm trying to tell you.
Exactly, bro.
That's all I'm trying to tell you. And if you look at the last 3 to 4 game logs, talk soon. 3 to 4 year game logs, talk soon, or whatever. That was cool. They really hate Nico Harrison in Dallas. It's not fake. The stuff you're seeing is not fake Super Bowl noise. It's not fake crowd noise. That is real. And they are really kicking people out if you have signs. That is real as well. Very
Were
real.
You there last night?
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Do you want to go? Yeah.
Yeah, a dude got kicked out because he mouthed fire Nico. Got kicked out.
And one thing they didn't show that you guys probably can't see on TV, or they might not show on TV, but it was literally probably, no exaggeration, in every section, maybe 3 to 4 signs involving Nico Harrison or involving sell the team or something like that. Like Like it was the best sign I seen was like a Jordan sign, like with Luca, and it says banned, but it said Nico Harrison, and it was banned Nico Harrison. It was kind of good.
That's
Kind
good.
of
Tough. That's
yeah,
tough.
fine. They took
That's
time
tough.
with that. They didn't kick him out. They took time for that. But
Yeah,
yeah, that
let
was
him
a
cook.
crazy scene to watch. Like, bro, you'll see like, for example, everybody's cheering when Kyrie hit the 3 threes in a row. And then right after that, they just start booing. Like they're booing the Mavs organization, but cheering for the play. It's insane to see, bro. That was an interesting place.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I remember when the Knicks were peak fire or sell the team to James Dolan, and he was banning people from the Garden. Like that is that times 10.
Yeah, I could imagine.
And that's the Garden.
Yeah, if that was like that, I couldn't imagine.
Boy,
I couldn't imagine, dude. Because it's just insane. Like
imagine they traded Jalen Brunson right now. Oh my God. It would get a louder reaction than Dallas. Obviously not because Jalen Brunson's better than Luka, but it's like this is the best player they've had since Carmelo, and he's doing more for this team than Carmelo did. That's not Carmelo's fault, but
it's the facts are the facts. And that's why I said it was so interesting. And I think I'm gonna call it Summit and Plum like a slash because it's just a night and day difference, dude. Like from being a season ticket guy and being able to see like the change from Luka's here and Luka's gone, bro. Like even the maniacs, like the guys who dance, like they don't even seem to have the same enthusiasm, bro. Like the section, like with the guys with the white shirts and they always have the glass, like it sounds funny, but it's real, bro. And I think that was like one of the craziest things I've ever seen. So I say that. And I think it's been one of my Summit / Plummets for like a few weeks. I've been locked on a rival league, bro, watching the 1v1s. And there's been some ridiculous upsets. Like ridiculous upsets.
My goat got skunked, so there's that.
12-0, that is absolutely insane.
12-0. Still, are you serious?
Something we say about Drake. The real gonna last. All that BS gone tomorrow. Nafisha Collier, all I'm saying, she's still there. Still balling. That's all I'm saying. Shout out.
We 5v. We a 5v5 player on this side, bro. It's cool. It's cool.
Shout out Studi. But shout out my girl Fee. She's still there. But now that's been cool to see. Just like I said, 1v1 is cool because egos aside, like you really out there just playing. And I would love the NBA to adopt it, but I think it's just been dope to watch. I'm excited to see that continue to grow. Like I said, that was probably one of my favorite things. Just all things sport this year, like having a 1v1 tournament with some of the best players in the world playing. So yeah,
they hilarious. They said Bones Highland going to bust LeBron's ass, and they'll never.
Bro, I'm telling you, the best matchup we can get 1v1 is Bones Highland v. Rob Dillingham. I'm trying to tell y'all that would
be tough. That would be tough. That's peak AAU hoops right there.
That's peak. All right, ball don't stop, ball don't lie, ball.
I can't imagine ball don't stop on Twitter. He's like, these are what the real hoopers, the mid-range, the killer. But I'm gonna keep my Summit and Plummets in basketball as well. The Summit is that I don't know if y'all know. Not sure if y'all really on Celtics Twitter too much, but the Tatum there's this thing called the Tatum usage war. I think I brought this to y'all attention before. When Tatum has a usage rate above 33%, the Celtics are like 49-3. That is 2016 Golden State Warriors good. Like that's how good they are when Jason Tatum just has the ball in his hands that much. When it's over 35%, they're just a flat out 25-0. That was at the beginning of January. Over the last 3 games, the usage doesn't lie. The usage rate is close to 33%. He's averaging 35 points per game. Crazy efficiency, good assist numbers, which I just want to point it out there. When I'm thinking of passing wings, if your name's not LeBron James, you can't touch Jason Tatum in that category. He's brought it. He just brings it to another level every single year, and the numbers will never back it up. But it used to be just driving kick, and that's how he gets his assist. But it's so much more than that. It's been great. The downside to that, though, I guess the plummet of it all is that it kind of you could look at it at like a lot of people look at it. Oh, you're just a stan. You're just a Jason Tatum stan who doesn't like Jaylen Brown. Two things can be true. I love Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is so necessary for this team to win a championship. But the Celtics do play better when Jason Tatum, just has the ball more. It's that simple. He's a better playmaker. He's a better scorer than Jaylen Brown. It doesn't mean that Jaylen Brown can't run the offense at times. And by run the offense, that means drive straight to the hoop and get what you want. But it's just, if you defend Tatum, you're a stan. If you defend Jaylen Brown, you're a, quote, true Celtics fan. I don't know. I'm both, so it doesn't matter.
my question about the Celtics, whatever they do this year, are the Eagles going to follow up and do the same thing next year?
Streets are saying yes. Streets are saying I'm the greatest fan of all time. Streets are saying I don't lose.
The Philadelphia Phillies may have another word for you.
Hey, look, I love them. They can't tear down what I got going right now. My two teams have coaches that people like to say are just big dummies. Turns out they're not big dummies, and they're pretty good at their job. And both of my
Missoula's
teams
still a bot, though. He's definitely a bot.
He's definitely a bot, but he's very psychotic. The only thing that's the difference between him and JJ Redick is I think JJ Redick played in the NBA long enough to have some like real sanity, and his years at Duke gave him like true perspective on what it's like being a human. Missoula didn't learn that at West Virginia, I'm gonna guess.
He learned how to get
all he did was
weekends.
deliver buckets and start watching the town 24/7. So he's really locked in. My teams have the best GMs in sports, maybe.
Bro, Howie Roseman might be the best GM of all time.
He's certainly in the conversation. I mean, this was easy.
Except he chose Jalen Reagor in the first round, though.
He did do that, and then that's the definition of geeked versus locked in. That point on, locked in. Even starting the next round was locked in. And then Brad is, everybody knows. I mean, Brad Stevens, I think when putting a perfectly fit together basketball team together, no one's better than him at it. However, Rob Pelinka is certainly in the conversation with him just because Rob Pelinka is he pulls off heist like I've never seen. He just got the Lakers their next great one, and you know how that goes. But enough about Celtics basketball. Let's talk about Super Bowl 60, where the Philadelphia Eagles
59.
I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. Let me change that.
I'm about to say,
while
we recapping next year?
Yes, I'm going to tell you guys how the Eagles have already won.
We're watching it back to back. We are going at it, man. We're going back to back.
My bad.
The Ravens just lost in the Super Bowl to Jalen Hurts.
Well, if that happened, then I wouldn't be here because you know where I'd be. I'd be at the closest.
Let's slowly unwind this a little bit. Let's go around the table. What was your favorite moment from the game? It could be a soundbite. It could be a play. It could be part of Kendrick's performance, which I thought was really well, except when he did play that song, I did look at my TV as if 9/11 just happened. But you could ask that, bro. He started playing. I was like, I was starstruck. I was bamboozled. I was like, no way he plays it, right?
Yo, Chris.
He did it.
As soon as he finished, you know what we put on?
We put off
big as the what? Big as the Super Bowl.
Big as the Super Bowl, huh?
That was so funny, bro. Because I know like 80% of the world was just like on the edge of their seats waiting to see what was going to happen. And then like I think the first jump off was like, oh, he about to do it. Then it stopped. Like, oh, okay, I knew it wasn't going to happen. Then it came back. I was like,
you're really
going to say his name? Is he going to say Drake? I was like, is he going to say actual Drake?
This is bigger than a music.
He was going crazy, but I ain't gonna lie. He was going crazy.
Anyway, let's start with Danny. What was your favorite piece of the game, whatever it may be?
Yeah. So I have two favorite pieces. It's going to sound really weird. Offensively, my favorite piece was a 10-yard out route to Dallas Goedert. It is something that Jalen Hurts has been consistently good at. These short and intermediate out routes, and that really elevates the Philadelphia Eagles game each and every year. And Goddard has been consistently reliable, and I think it's about time we talked about him as a top 5 tight end in the NFL.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, the problem with Goddard isn't the production, obviously. I think he is talented as almost any tight end in the NFL. He's a little injury prone. Yeah, and usage, when you play with the guys that you play with, of course, to the great ones like George Kittle, it doesn't matter who you line up with, you're going to get yours. But his roles are just a little different. He probably still is the best pass catcher on his team.
Yeah. So that, yeah. And then defensively, where I'm going here. It's like, I was going to go
Cooper
DeJean.
He's
Nah,
not
it's
a
not
safety.
good. I love the
He's
Cooper.
just a corner.
But I love that. But no, my favorite play is actually going to be the Milton Williams strip sack. It is so reminiscent of Tom Brady being stripped, except the stakes were just at an all-time low at that point.
All lower, and Jalen Carter got the freest shot of his life at Patrick Mahomes.
Dude, maybe one of the funniest pictures I've ever seen. Jalen Carter's two-hand shoving Pat Mahomes in his head.
And it's not even a penalty because he already lost the ball. Like,
Didn't
it's
he call
so
it
unfortunate for Patty.
Didn't he get called a penalty?
No. No, that was unsportsmanlike conduct after. He didn't get called a penalty. Yeah, no. It doesn't matter because Jalen Carter was getting put in a chokehold like 2 seconds before that. So
yeah, bro. How do you get choked?
like
He's
he
put
is
in a
every
chokehold,
play, but
and he's just like, never mind.
You know what?
I might.
I ain't get my call. You definitely ain't getting yours.
I had an analogy that I came up with for the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line during this game. They had 4 TJ Watts out there.
That's one way to look at it.
They have 4 players.
And
Yo, and the crazy part is, like, they might go add a better version of TJ and Myles Garrett.
I don't know about all that. I don't know what we would have to give up.
They
Look,
might.
I could say, oh, Howie will figure it out, but yeah, I'm gonna be realistic on this one. Myles Garrett that's a lot to ask for.
Man, if they send 2 first-round picks and Josh and I'm gonna call him Bryce Huff.
I mean, but who? I don't know if anybody's gonna want him, but I digress. You make a good point. They are like the betting favorites or whatever it is. But I have to agree.
If they get Myles Garrett, I would start to call this team Dynasty.
You got to get the second one first. Because it's
They're
not always
4-4.
as simple. This is how I like to think about it. Because the Ravens, not the Ravens. What team was it? I can't remember. But a Super Bowl winning team, just because they get the Super Bowl winning team, they get better in the offseason, doesn't exactly translate to they're going to go win the Super Bowl. A lot of things can happen. But that would, sources are saying that would be big if true. To put it lightly. Chris, what was your favorite part of the Super Bowl, or 2 of your favorite parts of the Super Bowl?
I think it's a couple. One of my favorite ones, the Pat U bomb to Xavier Worthy to cut the lead to 30-something. It was just like,
took your GOAT Chris Paul spot.
Bro, literally took my GOAT out the way. I'm like, thank you, because we don't need to hear that anymore. But the part about it was crazy was like, he really threw the ball maybe 60 yards on a rope to Xavier Worthy. And it was like, that's very impressive. That's the first time I saw it. It's very impressive. It doesn't matter, but that is very impressive. And I think for me, it's my favorite because I think that's like what the Super Bowl was. A splash play for the Chiefs every once in a while, literally every once in a while, and the Eagles just playing great football the whole time. I think he just spelled out the game. Like, you don't even remember the mistake Jalen Hurts made, the pick, because right after that, it's another turnover for a touchdown. So it just didn't matter. Just like a splash play, then just good football the whole way. So I think that just made it like a small snapshot of what the actual game was. I think that's probably why I made it my favorite play. And then after that, I think I'll probably say apart from the Eagles part, I was going to say something from the halftime show, but I think from the Eagles, I think it was the Jalen Hurts little FU bomb to Devontae Smith. It was like, we know what played in my head? As soon as I seen that, when he sat down and the chain was like, that's what I wanted to see, huh? That's exactly what played in my head. As soon as I seen the ball get down, I'm like, literally, I know that's got to be playing in his head. And then when you see like not the all-22, I think like the inside, the wired or whatever it was called, it was like, they can't put you. He's like, I know. I'm like, that is literally what I was thinking. Like,
bro, he's Michael Jordan. He's Michael Jordan.
He has that level of swagger.
I mean, if I was Jalen Hurts, that's exactly what I would have said when I got to the podium. They can't with me. That's what I would have said. But he got more class than I have. Trust me, because I'd still be victory lapping right now. So I think that was it. I think it was just like they both were huge shots, but one was like I wouldn't even say dagger. It was pretty much over at that point, and one was just like a cut me to 42 type of thing. So I don't know.
That's a dagger, man. That
call by Burke. I mean, we're gonna run some clock here, or maybe just throw the dagger.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
That's my two favorite parts.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we can
That's
loop
up
back
there.
around
That's
to the
up there
halftime.
with Harper, the swing of his life.
In Philly sports,
Ooh.
it's certainly. I don't. It's, okay, I'm gonna have to say no, because that Harper one, they were losing in the rain. It just stakes were a little bit higher. I know the game wasn't as, but Harper swing of his life. That just might be the best call I've ever witnessed as a Philly sports fan. Phil sports fan. But we'll loop back around to the halftime show, Chris, if you want to talk about it, because I certainly want to as well. I
Guess
enjoyed
what
it.
though?
What?
We get a little NBC Super Bowl next year.
Oh, so would he call it though?
Carmelo Anthony? Probably. No, I'm joking.
Oh yeah, new analyst, Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony gonna be salivating at breaking down KD, Tatum, Shea, all the mid-range killers, Jalen Brown, DeMar DeRozan.
I can't wait, dude. I can't wait to get on my block.
Next year we're gonna get all the. Now here's a guy, Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth. I'm signing up.
Collinsworth is great when he's not talking, when he doesn't have to, talk about Mahomes or Allen.
I'm telling you, he is great outside of that.
I'm telling you, if the Ravens make the Super Bowl, I don't look off the top of my head. I don't know what crew Kevin Harlan is with,
but please,
Lamar Jackson is in the Super Bowl.
Please
put Kevin Harlan on it. He loves him with everything he has. I
actually beg you to put him in there. If Lamar makes, I actually beg you, because he plays better.
He is Houdini.
Yeah, that's the best call ever in my life. Even blocked by James. One of those two. My favorite. My favorite.
He said, "Oh, he broke his ankles. Now he is an entourage." Like it's so it's effortless with him.
Chris, and I want to offer this question to you. My friend is from right outside of Baltimore. He's not really a big Ravens fan, but he just kind of he's not a big football fan in general. And he said this game would be so much better if the Ravens were in it. The Chiefs were known to be frauds, and
we're known to be frauds.
No, that's what Nate was saying, and I want to get your perspective on it. What would the score have been for the Eagles team of destiny versus your 2024-2025 Baltimore Ravens?
A real score or the score I would want? I would give you the score I would want.
Not one. What do you think would have happened given the outcome of what just happened to
Lord knows the score you want.
No, I'm saying, but the real score I think it would have been 24-21 Eagles, and I think my heart's broken. And I think not even Jake Elliott or Tucker makes the ending kick. I think it's just we play from behind and just can't get in front. I think we put up a better fight than that fraud.
For sure.
We put up a better control.
Yo, I will say, Rashee Rice coming back next year is going to make an extreme impact in his life.
Especially considering Xavier Worthy's going to be big in year 2. Kelsey's probably not going to be there.
He might.
I seen on the podcast today. He was saying that he's gonna think it over and stuff. And I liked how he said it too. He's like, he sounded
like a guy who's ready to hang it up.
Bro,
he also played like a guy who's ready to hang it up.
Man, Jason Kelsey, craziest response to what happened.
Okay. Before I get into my favorite part of the game, Jason Kelsey did nothing wrong. That's his brother. That is his little brother.
Yeah,
his baby brother, and the other team is okay. At the end of the day, it's a football team I played for. Or my little brother. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little heartbroken that my little brother not only lost, played like garbage, and now he's getting all this hate. I'm gonna be a little.
I know his wife is happy.
Oh, Kylie's having the time of her. Why? Do you think she care about? She doing the Drake when Travis had a bet. Oh, she don't care. But I don't blame Jason for feeling that way. People were posting think pieces when it was Ertz's last game, or Wentz's last game in Philadelphia. Ertz and Kelsey were all out on the field, just soaking it all in, and they were like, "Oh, everything's coming together now," because now they don't like Zach Ertz because he decided he still wants to play football and went to go play for the Commanders. Sorry, someone offered me a multi-million-dollar contract. I'm gonna go play football. He's years separated from the Eagles. It's not like he went right there anyway. I don't know. I don't like the think pieces. If Jason Kelsey can't, if he's not saved, by Eagles fans, then no one ever will have the grace. from Eagles fans. So I think he responded fine. He can be hurt for his brother. I think that's perfectly fine. Jason's good in my book, always will be. My favorite part of the game, man. I mean, like I don't even know where to start. Like, I mean, Jake Elliott made every kick twice, basically. Like after being horrible all year, just immediately locked in.
He's out there 5 hours for the game. I love that.
Yeah, like he really, yeah, like that's like playoff Braun, switch mode, whatever. All right, but if I really had to give a favorite play of the game, I would probably roll with the whole dagger sequence with Sirianni saying if we call this, the game's over, like just call it. Hurts checking at the line, telling everybody we like this play, we're good. Even the play design, of course, because of the play action, having a pulling guard go with it and everybody else sliding, it really makes it look like a run. So Becton pulls, makes it look like a real run. Linebackers bite. Safety, it's supposed to be cover 4, doesn't do his job, goes with Goddard on the out route. Not finding many corners, that's keeping up with Devontae Smith, and then Jalen lets it rip. The call was perfect. All the offensive linemen, it's funny because all the younger offensive linemen are hyped with Hurts, and then Lane Johnson just shakes his hand because Lane's been here before. I mean, they've all been here, but Lane, a true vet, glad he's coming back for another year, just shakes his hand. Mailata, you won't find a bigger Jalen Hurts fan than Jordan Mailata. He says they can't mess with you, and he said, I know. And that kind of just sums it all up.
I'm going to let you take a guess at this. Jalen Hurts since the bye week. Touchdown to interception ratio.
Is it touchdown to interception or touchdown to turnover?
Touchdown to turnover, sorry.
Okay,
even better. Since the bye week.
Including playoffs, right?
Including the playoffs.
Is it 3-1? Including this
9-1. 9-1. 36
Ridiculous.
Touchdowns to 4 turnovers. This guy, call whatever you want about him, say he's a super team around him. He has amazing players around him, but guess what? Just because he's amazing players around him doesn't mean he's playing the most efficient brand of football out of anybody in the NFL.
It's true. It really is. And that whole sequence kind of sums it all up because early in the season, Jalen was turning the ball over, but they were putting the ball in his hands a lot. And just some unfortunate things to some bad turnovers. And after the bye week from there, it was like, you know what? We're going to lean on Saquon a lot. We're not going to be too aggressive through the air. And he took it on the chin because the only thing that matters is winning to him. And on the biggest stage with a chance to just put down one of the 5 best quarterbacks to ever play our game, they were like, Jalen, take us home. And that's what he did. And I'm glad Sirianni said that because they were probably like Kellen Moore probably did want to run some clock. He probably wanted to take it to the end of the quarter. And Sirianni was like, no, dude, let's get him out of here. Like Jalen can do this. And that really just sums it all up. And Saquon he didn't really have a great game. I mean, Spags really did put it all on stopping Saquon Barkley. And there was no one happier after this game than Saquon Barkley. He's shotgunning beers in the locker room. He said it on Jimmy Fallon?
They literally been everywhere. He's been on 1,000 shows.
Jalen. I don't think Jalen Hurts I don't think he slept all week. But Barkley was on Jimmy Fallon. He was like, "Yeah, y'all know I went to Penn State, so I'm pretty good there." But let's get into some real, I guess, XOs analysis. Let's start with Kansas City. Let's start with Chris. What do you think went wrong with Kansas City in their approach to the game? Maybe lack of adjustments. Patty, where did they go wrong against Philadelphia?
I don't think they could move the ball on first and second down enough. I think that put them in a hole, very, very deep hole. And we already talked about it like the show before the Super Bowl, just how good the Eagles defense has been, and especially the defensive line. You can't get in a hole. You can't go into third down being 3rd and 8 every time, or you can't be 2nd and 12 like that. You can't survive like that against this team, and it showed. And I think that was probably one of the bigger things. And uncharacteristic stuff by Mahomes in the sense of like we've seen him hold the ball too long. I kind of hate to hold the ball too long stat sometimes, just sometimes, but we've seen him do it and it work out for him. But this isn't just You can't do that against this defensive line. And I think that's just kind of what it was. Like we were just looking for like, oh, Mahomes is going to make some magic. He got out of a couple plays where he didn't get sacked, but it didn't really amount into anything. And I think that was the biggest thing. Like Mahomes' magic is a big part of why this Chiefs offense does what it does. Like, yeah, play calling is what it is. The players around are what they are, but the engine is really Mahomes. You can say that about most quarterbacks, but the engine is really him. And then on top of that, they didn't get anything out of Kareem Hunt, Pacheco. Anybody who ran the ball at the backfield, they didn't really get anything out of that. So I think you really put it on Mahomes and everybody else, and I don't think they could do it. If this is Kelsey maybe from 5 years ago, maybe they can get.
What Kendrick say? I put on their ass and somebody got to do it. Nobody did it.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think, that was my reason. I think just that as a whole, they didn't get enough out of their first and second downs and running the ball. And I think the Mahomes magic just wasn't enough in the sense of you can get out of sacks, but could you make a play against the defense? And they couldn't. So I think that's really just what it was. I don't think they adjusted enough. The Eagles already showed what they were taking away in the first quarter, and no adjustments happened. Nothing. And I think they came out kind of flat. They came out like it was like a Thursday night game against the Browns. I know that sounds crazy, but it looked like they had much fire under them, to start the game. And I think the Eagles were locked. The Eagles were locked
all week. They were locked all week.
Yeah, so I think that was probably my biggest. I think I'm not saying they came out thinking like, oh, we're just going to beat them. I don't think they thought that. I think they came out with the same fire that they needed to match what the Eagles came out with. So
yeah,
absolutely,
dude. When they opened the game with 6 straight pass plays and 0 runs, I was like, this team's cooked, dude. Their game plan's awful. They're not a pass first team this year at all, especially after Rashid Rice got hurt. They've been trying to establish the run. Even if Pacheco and Kareem Hunt are getting 40 yards a game, they were still running the ball like 20, 25 times. They look like a team like the Ravens almost look like, where they were avoiding to run and just trying to go against their original scheme for an entire year, which I don't know why they changed it. Probably because the Eagles' pressure was just killing them and eating their running backs alive. And I said this before the game. It's going to come down to Joe Thuney, a guard who's Tony said played pretty spectacular all year at tackle.
In my defense, he was pretty good. He was pretty good.
No, I'm not taking it.
Real demons came out.
He was spectacular all year for them. But the Eagles' defensive line dominated from the start.
Yeah. And that kind of I'm get ready for me to be that guy. But like the Chiefs were defensively, it wasn't the end of the world. The Eagles' average starting field position was at their own 43-yard line. That's unacceptable by the offense and the special teams unit. You can't do it. But the Eagles can't be, and Mahomes, you can't be giving the ball back inside their own 10. You can't be offering them points by throwing it right to Cooper DeJean, who is an absolute threat to score anytime he gets the ball in his hands, which is bad signs for Britton Covey. But the defense, I don't even want to say they did a bad job. Yeah, they still let up 33 points. That's not good. And Jalen Hurts, was surgical through the air on them. But they stopped the run. They did what they wanted to do. Make Jalen Hurts beat you. Well, you make your wish a little bit more specific next time. You know how genies can be. Stopping Jalen's arm is a lot easier said than done. And I don't know how many times it had to be said. I don't know how many times he has to beat people with his arm for people to get it, but he's more than capable. Just because we don't doesn't mean we can't, and he showed it in the 2 biggest games of the year. So
I'm going to walk you through something, which proves the Eagles' dominance. The Chiefs game log: 4 plays, 1 first down. 4 plays, not even a first down. Sorry, they're at 3 and out. Punt, 3 and out. Punt, 3 and out. Pick 6. Punt, interception. Punt, turnover on downs. Then when they were down 34-0, they finally got a 5-play touchdown. They went 8 straight drives where they went 3 and out. We've never seen Patrick Mahomes do this ever.
Yeah, 26 yards at half? Someone made something funny. They said Kendrick Lamar traveled more yards than the Kansas City Chiefs.
Facts.
I mean, he did.
Yeah, all the walking he needed to do. The strutting, the hey Drake or say Drake. But
the Philadelphia Eagles, They backed up their talk. They said, "Run this back on real grass. Run this back on a not a phony field," and we beat that guy. And they backed up the talk.
I think to be fair, our defensive line, sack numbers aside, this defensive line is just better than them. Better
No,
than
it is.
the Reddick leg group. Absolutely.
And the scary part
Carter's
is they're
better than
young.
Hargrave.
They're so
Davis
much younger, dude.
Yeah, so much younger, so much more upside. Like Carter, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Carter has the level of upside where he could be the second best defensive lineman in Eagles history. I think he has that level of juice. The only person I don't think he could catch is Reggie White. It's all a matter of how great does he want to be, and I think he's got a much better head on his shoulders than when he entered the NFL.
Well, rightfully so. He was potentially getting charged with murder.
Yeah, and it's a kid makes mistakes, and I'm not condoning his actions, but he's certainly grown as a man. Of course, Jordan Davis doing the thing, and Nolan Smith has the chance to be this group's. He could be the Brandon Graham to Carter's Fletcher Cox. Like that's the way this group can be.
Yeah,
Cox was primarily the best defensive tackle in the league. Him and Cam Hayward were those two guys, but Aaron Donald didn't let them have a career. So
is Micah Parsons JJ Watt then?
No.
When he's in the Raven jersey, you'll see. You'll see what he is.
Our JJ Watt's in the draft process right now.
Instead of saying you'll see, we're only going to say you may not know now, but later you'll understand.
Later you'll understand.
It's written. That's all I'm saying. It's been written.
It's not you'll see anymore. It's just you may not know now.
Yeah. But my point is, honestly, with the Chiefs' offensive game plan, one, you don't have the weapons to really orchestrate the things you like to do. And I like what Chris said, because the Chiefs were the best team in the NFL on first and second down, which led them to have the shortest distance of third down in the NFL. Just staying ahead of the sticks. That was their job. That's what they did all year. That's how they were able to beat a lot of great teams across the year. But when you're passing on first down, like, why are you, like Danny said, they're not running the ball. What are you doing? You love to methodically drive down the field, and you would be playing to Vic Fangio's strengths of, hey, bend, don't break, bend, don't break. Vic Fangio said, apparently, enough with that. Just break them from the start. We will break them. And he did.
Hunt was breaking them. Jalen
Hunt had a good game. Milton Williams, Ajobo.
Great game.
Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, Jordan. You can't name one person on the Eagles D-line who did not have a good game besides Bryce Huff.
What did Jason Kelce say in his Super Bowl
it's the whole team.
Speech?
It's the whole
team.
It's the whole team, man. And I don't even want to, like, in this aspect of the game, there's nothing the Chiefs could have done. Your guys, your 5 guys up front, and your max protect running back, and the tight ends you sent out to block, could not block 4 guys. They didn't blitz once. Eagles did not blitz once. They sent Carter and friends all day, and you couldn't stop them. I remember back in the Chiefs parade when they beat us, they had a shirts that printed out 0 sacks. I would love if Carter and them rolled out with a shirt that said 0 blitzes, because that's what happened. Vic sent no blitzes. He said, "You know what? We gonna chill back. Our guys up front are going to be able to stop the run. Guys back are going to defend the pass, and we're just going to simply outman everybody. We're going to win in every facet of the defense." So there's that. And then I guess that smoothly leads into how the Eagles won. Danny, we can start with you. The Eagles won every facet of the game. Let's not get it wrong, but what was probably your favorite part of their success in this game?
Yeah, I think my favorite part of the Eagles' success in this game comes down to Jalen Hurts being a game manager and being one of the best game managers that is in the NFL. Not only is he a phenomenal athlete and the definition of one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the NFL, but Jalen Hurts manages a football team. He's a leader of men. Not only is he leading his men, he's also going out, reading the defense, diagnosing them pre-snap. He did it the entire playoffs. In a game where the Chiefs said, "We're going to shut down Saquon Barkley, make Jalen Hurts beat us," Hurts said, "Thanks, dude. I got it.
Yeah.
I'm taking care of business." Every single game where he needs to elevate his play, he's done it.
A true playoff riser. We don't talk about that a lot in in football. It's a big
No, you
basketball
don't.
term. We of course know that.
Well, it's rare in football. Usually everyone elevates in football. Hurts just elevates to a different level. He
I
said,
want to say everybody, not everyone. Not everyone
like
elevates.
the stakes are higher, and people know that like not everyone rises, but everyone knows the stakes are higher, and like people are handsy more, people are hand fighting more, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts reminds me of a good. He reminds me of baseball in a way. The regular season, it wasn't too exciting. A lot of handing it off to Saquon. The two biggest games of his career, it got very exciting. The gap between playoff Jalen and regular season Jalen, it's like regular season baseball and playoff baseball. Gets real loud in the postseason, and Jalen elevated his play relatively the same way. But Chris, kind of same question to you. What was your favorite part of the Eagles' success and their dominance? What really took it home for them?
I think for me, it was the lack of panic when the obvious game plan from the Chiefs was to take away Saquon. So I give it to everybody on the team, not named Saquon. I think everybody else rose to the occasion in the sense of you trying to take away our best guy, cool. We'll be the best guy now. And I think that's kind of what I took from it. Just an ultimate sign of respect. My ultimate respect goes to the Eagles for that. Because it's easy to say, it's easy to press, right? When they take away your number one option, it's easy to press. It's easy to just, okay, we got to go to this. And if this works, you got to keep with this. I think they mixed up play calling very well. I think everybody did their job well. And I think everybody kind of rallied around the fact and took it as a slight disrespect in the sense of not thinking about us. We're Pro Bowl type players. We're all pro players too, like in that sense, like everybody outside of Saquon Barkley. So just my respect to them. So I think, like I said, it's easy to fold. It's easy to kind of try to overdo your part when you know that the other side's trying to take away something. And I didn't see that from them. I seen them stay calm, and I seen them just, be who they've been all year, just a team that's together. And I said that about, I forgot which team I said it about earlier this year, where it's like they want to win for each other to kind of get the monkeys off everybody's back. Like you could tell the offensive line wanted Jalen Hurts to make big plays because they've heard the chatter too. Like you can just tell like it's a together team. And I think that just kind of showed in the play. Like I said, trying to take away Saquon, it's like, okay, cool. We'll show you why that's not the best idea. So, like I said, just my respect to them because, like I said, I think even for the coaching staff, it's easy to say, okay, take away Saquon. Let's find a way to force him the ball. Let's start throwing them screens. Let's start making sure we just do different things to get it to him. I think they was like, okay, you gonna take away Saquon? Okay, and then we'll just go to everything else. So, like I said, I think that's probably the thing that stood out to me. No panic, and everybody else being who they are.
Yeah,
super team. We'll show you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly the point. You can't say the team's whole entirely Saquon and they say, oh well, Jalen Hurts has a super team. Pick one. You got to pick one. I'm kind of the same way. The next man up mentality has been in every facet, whether someone gets hurt or just someone subs in. I mean, like Danny said, Joe Bo and Milton Williams, they did a good job rotating in. Brandon Graham, he was still rotating in for very few plays, but he didn't really need to do much to get his second ring. But the peak of that is Avonte Maddox rolls out into the slot on a big fourth down. And you can ask Danny, I'm losing my mind. Avonte Maddox, I'm not going to lie to you, hasn't been good for us this year. Took it like a champ when Cooper DeJean took his spot, but if he's on the field, the ball is going to him, and it's true 100% of the time. And even on this play, they went at him, but he made a dang good play on the ball. He broke the ball up. It couldn't get the D-hop for the first down, and I was just like, you know what? I got to eat that one. I was wrong. I knew they were going at him. I just thought it would be a bigger play, and he certainly made a play there, and just kind of shows the mentality. Jahan Dotson, catching a ball, putting us inside the 1 yard line. And I think he had another catch, actually. I think he had 2 catches for like 42 yards. He didn't do too bad. Certainly his biggest game. So, guys stepped up. I think Saquon went out for a little bit. Kenny Gainwell stayed in, did some pass blocking. The little things, I would say. Let's take a small break from the football talk. Favorite part about the halftime show?
Man, I think my favorite part about the halftime show was how he kind of like teased it.
I like that. I like that.
Like,
It was because I think it could have realistically went either way. It could have like, oh, I'm not trying to get sued. I'm not going to do it. But hey, kept the fans on their toes.
And suing is weak to me, by the way. Like, bro, please. Like, Meek Mill didn't sue you, and I'm a Drake fan. Meek Mill didn't sue you when you killed him for a year. We didn't sue over back-to-back.
To be fair, Drake didn't. All Drake said is that our world tour or your girls tour? He didn't say, yo, you committed a heinous crime.
Suable offense. If you try to play me like that in front of people, I may sue you. You try to say my girl set my tour up, I may have to call the police.
She did, though. She did.
I may have to call the police. But I think my favorite part of the Super Bowl performance, I think I had two favorite parts. Low key, my first favorite part is how like 1,000 people ran out of a GNX. Like they just like kept coming out of the car.
that was hilarious.
That was the surprise, actually.
Yeah, that was actually.
We need to make clown cars mainstream.
But that was fine. I was like, bro, it's literally 80 people running out of here. This is incredible. That was one of my favorite parts. And seeing Samuel L. Jackson. I'm a huge Samuel L. Jackson fan.
Uncle Sam.
Yes, off movies and stuff. Like I say a bunch of Sam Jackson quotes all the time from random movies, like from Deep Blue Sea and Pulp Fiction. Like I said, a bunch of Samuel L. Jackson quotes. So that was cool to see him in there because Sam Jackson, one of the legends who've been legendary in so many different ways. Like people know him from just being in Avengers, but Sam Jackson had like a 30-year career before Avengers was even a thing, so it's like just dope to see him still being relevant and still doing things that matter. And it was a cool way to see like his almost like his Django role reprised again. It was cool. I think that was fire. And the most impressive part about the Super Bowl halftime performance, a lot of days like now, like if anybody's performing, the music's playing in the back and they're kind of like rapping or singing over the music. Kendrick had no backtrack. He rapped all the words and he censored himself. Now, whether you like the performance or not, that is special. Being able to censor yourself while controlling your breath with no backtrack and like that was a dope part to me. Like I said, I think that's just the art of performance, whether you liked it or not. I think the art of it was cool, like in the sense of this is a really good performance. Like the way it's put on, whether you like the music or not, the actual thought and thought process. But I thought it was cool. So yeah, that was probably my favorite parts of the halftime show.
Yeah. I love the appearance of Uncle Samuel L. Jackson. I thought that was great. Kendrick really did send a message. I really don't care for white people saying they don't care. Like this isn't the stage to use the message. I was like, this is the stage to use a message in front of our president. In front of all of America. Like, yes, this is the time to get a message across. And not only that, he played one of my all-time favorite songs, All the Stars with SZA. I knew once she was coming on, I knew that song was going to be played, and that love that song. I can't even put it into words. But that, along with the Eagles being up 24 at halftime, was also pretty cool.
I need all of the lights on next.
I think the only thing I could say, though, is I wish he played a couple more classics, but I do get it. If he really wanted the greatest halftime of all time, he would have just started playing Poetic Justice and let Drake roll out.
100%. I'm with that.
Yep.
Cinema. Yep. That would have been cinema.
Yep, exactly. And then
actually, when I raise you one, he plays Mona Lisa first. Wayne comes out. Then he transitions into Poetic Justice. Cinema.
Right. And then he drops. He don't even drop a song. He pulls out Kanye, who's actually been in Ye's closet for years, and say, "Yo, that wasn't me. I made Graduation." And yeah, that'd have been perfect. That would have done it for me, man. But let's get back to some actual football here. Last two things we'll talk about. Let's talk some quarterbacks. Let's start with Patrick Mahomes. Just like Tom Brady, through his first three, he's 3-2. The losses are a little different. The wins are a little different. But the closest thing we have to someone chasing Tom Brady is Patrick Mahomes, and the legacy took a dent a little bit. What does Patty necessarily have to do going forward? Because, again, when you think he's 29, Brady went a whole decade without even seeing another Super Bowl win.
Look,
Not to say that can't happen to Patty. He's a little bit just less likely though, as long as he is Andy Reid.
Yeah,
We'll start with
the Eagles
Chris.
have
Chris
two
is
rings, right?
they do.
I was gonna say, and their rings they mean a little bit more because they both are against the best quarterbacks of all time.
Foles beat Brady. Hurts beat Mahomes. The Ghosts have their kryptonite. Let's just put it that way. But we'll
And
start
they
with
might
Chris.
belong in
He's
Philadelphia.
a clear Brady advocate. Not to say it's over for Mahomes, but how high is the hill? How high is the Mount Tom Everest that he has to climb to get himself, in the conversation with Brady at this rate?
And I do want to start by saying Tom is my guy. I do like Tom Brady. I do. I'm a Tom Brady. My two of my favorite quarterbacks all time are Tom Brady, Cam Newton. So I know that's very random, but those two are my favorites. But I think
you got a palate there.
I think I sound like more of a Mahomes hater than I actually am. Only in the sense of this, and when I say this, take it with just kind of understand where I'm coming from. This is Mahomes. LeBron lost to the Mavericks. Now, in a sense, this could be the loss that makes the whole NFL suffer. If Mahomes is who we think he is and who we say he is, as far as competitor and how good he is, this could be the loss that propels him to
another three-peat.
That's what I'm saying. Something like that. Or at least two ships again. This could be something that propels him to something.
Man, I'd argue a 4 or 5 is better than a three-peat.
4 and 6 is perfect to me, but we'll talk later. I think but in reality though, I think this could be that thing that kind of not make him lock in like he's not locked. But this could be one of those things where like, all right, I looked invincible for a while. I'm not. And I think this could be one of those things where he goes back to the drawing board and just gets better, and that's just bad news for the NFL. So I'll start there with Mahomes. I just think that could be one of those things to where it's like, I'm human. I gotta figure it out. And him figuring it out could be terrifying because he's already been going crazy. Him figuring it out. Just imagine he hasn't figured it out, right? And then he figures it out after this. So I'm looking forward to him next year. He's probably one of the MVP watch for real next year. Just because we can always put him in there, because it's Mahomes, they're gonna win a lot of games, blah, blah, blah. I think this could be that time where it's like he could hit that trajectory to where he just starts going ridiculous. I mean, he has to deal with the Eagles over there in the NFC, but the AFC's been walking through it. So I think if he can continue that, this could be really, really scary. And for Hurts, on the Hurts side of it, it's where else can you, how much higher can you go? In the sense of they're already really, really good. He's only going to get better. He's entering more into the prime of his career. The rest of the team as well, pretty much, like all the position guys on offense, pretty much in the prime of their career or slowly entering it. So it's like, in that same breath from Mahomes, the Eagles can go to the Super Bowl 3 more times in the next 4 years. I don't think anybody would be surprised. So I think this was beautiful for both sides. I think Jalen Hurts got that. All right, I showed y'all, told y'all so. Got that out the way. Even though he doesn't care about it, he's still a competitor at the end of the day. He cares about proving people wrong because that's how you get to be this great. And I think he's got that already off. Kellen Moore's out. Shout out to him for what he did. Darvin Ham salute. So now you go back there and you do it again. If you're the Eagles, you go back and make it again, especially Jalen Hurts. It don't matter who's calling my plays. Now, so you get more of that moxie, you get more of that I'm him regardless. So I like it for both sides, the win and the loss. I like what it can mean for both QBs.
Yeah, I like the 2011 comparison because I truly think that one they lost to the Bucks. That's kind of like Bronze 07, where it's like, you got pummeled, you got swept. It's not really your fault though. No one's catching the ball. Tackles ain't good. You're going against the Bucks weren't the dynasty. The Brady was, but we'll act like they're the Spurs because they have,
the guy. Yeah.
AP, Evans, Brady, Gronk, and all them. So yeah, I really do like that.
Yeah, Antonio Brown and Mike Evans on the same team with Gronk. Wow, that did happen.
Team was nasty. Team was nasty. Danny, what do you think about Mahomes going forward? What's he got to do?
I want to talk about Brett Veach, the GM of the Kansas City Chiefs. He is second to Howie Roseman. He has put his team each year at the trade deadline. He goes all in on the Kansas City Chiefs. He gets the pieces. He gets the defensive end. He gets the receiver. He makes sure that the team is well equipped to make a run. And I think you have to give a lot of credit to him. He leaves the cap flexibility. He doesn't get the same credit that Howie does, but he certainly should.
Yeah, it's up to him to continue to build that roster around Mahomes. But problem is, you sent me this tweet the other day. Mahomes is starting to get paid like Patrick Mahomes coming this summer. So
Yeah, and the cap flexibility is coming up. The Chiefs have, I think, 6 players make up like 40% of their cap. Travis Kelce retiring would help that out a lot.
one could argue he should kick the bucket. While Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are on rookie deals, having your two top weapons on rookie deals is, I would say, just about as big as your quarterback being on one.
No, it is.
Especially the
And
talent level of those guys and the way that Mahomes really likes playing with them.
yeah, the only issue is so like the Chiefs could be serious threats for a guy like T. Higgins if Kelsey leaves.
Yep. Yeah.
And
We'll see how it goes.
that would set the NFL into a fire.
I think it's only appropriate everyone just lets the Eagles get Myles Garrett to even the playing field. It's the only way we can do it.
You give in and say if we're trying to let the Chiefs dynasty die, let the Eagles do it.
Yeah. Yeah, with Mahomes, I've always been an advocate. I don't think he needs to get 7 to catch Brady because I don't think Braun needs 6 to catch Michael Jordan. Turns out LeBron actually only needed 3. But the point is, I think Mahomes at this point, continue building up the stats. You're going to need amazing longevity to catch Brady. That's first and foremost. And second is, I don't require championships, but you're going to need one. You're going to need to show you're able to bounce back from this grade A butt whooping. Show you can bounce. Brady 2009, 2010 season got annihilated by the Baltimore Ravens. 3 turnovers, didn't crack 130 yards passing. Worst playoff game of his career. How did he turn that around? It was with a Super Bowl trip. They did lose, but turn around with a Super Bowl trip. Couple years down the line, did end up getting
undefeated.
No. That was the 07 one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I would say, I want to be honest with you, it wasn't as bad of a game. Fumbling the undefeated season is a pretty big folly. I don't know whether I'll be more hurt fumbling the perfect season or the 3-peat, which I guess maybe the undefeated season because like the 3-peat, we're back to back already. Like we had a chance at history, didn't get it, but this would have been, point is, just learn from this. Brady,
100%.
Brady got his teeth kicked in against the Giants a second time, and he never looked back. He never looked back, and he became the GOAT. There were articles after that 2011 loss to the Giants. It's like, you're never going to be Joe Montana. They lucky I wasn't there because bro had better stats than Montana already at that point. I would have been pushing the Tom Brady GOAT agenda right then and there. But as a youngin, I was like, oh, no, well, he at least needs 4 rings. Once he gets 4 rings, yeah, sure, he's the GOAT for sure because he's already better than Montana. But I digress. Last question. Moving on to the other quarterback, though. Jalen Hurts, probably the most polarizing quarterback in the NFL. Some will have him top 5. Some will say, put 20 other quarterbacks on this team and they could win. 20 other quarterbacks can't lead this team to a Super Bowl because there's not 20 quarterbacks that are willing to take the back seat on their stats. And they can't run like Jalen Hurts can. They're not as accurate as he is. They're not as smart pre-snap as Jalen Hurts is. You simply look at quarterbacks that throw a pretty ball and say, yeah, insert them to the offense. And they're 17-0 and yada, 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 even though the Eagles haven't lost the game this year because of Jalen Hurts. So I don't necessarily know if, insert Justin Herbert makes up for those losses. Sorry. Spilled on that one, though, a little bit. Danny, let's start with you. Jalen Hurts, what conversations are we looking at for the quarterback in Philadelphia? Is he top 5, top 10? What are we looking at?
Yeah, I think we're looking at a top 5 quarterback. Maybe 6 at worst. And I've been this way for a decent while. I thought the Hurts has been that way for a while. Look, he's not closer to 2 or 3. He's closer to 5 or 6, but he doesn't need to be. It's the thing. He just doesn't need to be. But when they ask him to do it, he does. So I think that's the simplest answer. He answers every call that comes through.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Chris, where are you thinking about Jalen Hurts? A couple years ago, a lot of people would agree the top 6 is, Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, Herbert, Burrow, Hurts. Has he made his way back into that conversation? Is he still a little bit behind that group of guys? What do you think?
In reality, I think a lot of people in a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL are so gassed for nothing. So I'm happy that Jalen Hurts gets this W because now cements top 5. I put him at 4 over Burrow personally because Burrow hasn't done anything, but beat Mahomes once. So I'm putting him over Burrow. I have him at 4. I still go Pat 8, Jalen Hurts, Dan Burrow. That would be my top 5. Like guys like Herbert and Trevor Lawrence, like yeah, it looks cool. They are really talented. But I'm cool. Like I'm cool. I'd rather Jalen Hurts any day, just off the strength of bro. Like a lot of stuff phases quarterbacks, phases star athletes in general, and the respect for Jalen Hurts holding it down, POP holding it down, is what I give to him, bro. Because it's like it's so easy for Jalen Hurts to be like, oh yeah, they take away Saquon, bet it's my turn. I'm about to show you, and for him to overdo it, kind of like I talked about earlier. But it takes poise, bro. It takes poise. It takes respect for yourself, for the game, for your team. It takes a bunch of intangible things that you just cannot teach. And I think for that, on top of Jalen's talent, because Jalen has the talent of a top 10 quarterback, regardless of how you slice it, no matter what you want to say. The intangible puts him in the top 5 for me. This Super Bowl MVP cements him top 5. Like I say, he's 4 for me going into next season. I'd have, well, honestly, Mahomes didn't win, so I'll tell you who I have first. Are
we getting?
Is it the MVP?
The LeBron fan is talking about is punishing someone for losing in the championship. No way.
Shannon Sharp today. Call me Shannon Sharp today. No, I'm kidding. I still have Mahomes, Lamar, Josh, Jalen. But yeah, like I said, for me, I think it's just cements in that top 5, and it's like again going back to sitting out the chain on. That's what y'all wanted to see, and that's what we wanted. That's what people who were hating on him, they wanted to see. Can you go do it against the guy? And you did it. So
you know it's kind of weird. Jalen Hurts kind of gives like a swaggy version of Nikola Jokic.
Well, Hurts likes his job. I wouldn't get it twisted, but
I know, but
he's a swaggy version of Jason Tatum, bro. That's what he is. He's actually Tatum with aura. No offense, Tom, but he doesn't have
both my goats have aura. Actually, both my goats have plenty of aura, and they do very well. They have very good. They're very good when their usage rate is high.
And I agree. I agree with all those. But if Jalen could just spill an ounce of his aura onto Jason Tatum, he'd literally be the best player in the NBA. That's all he's missing is a little bit of aura. He's best dressed. One of the greatest.
I'm so confused, bro. He's 6'9", light skinned and tatted. What do you like? What does he
still
need?
No aura. That's what I'm saying.
Number 0, a signature shoe. He plays in Boston. What does he need?
You know what he needs?
Have aura.
You know what he needs? He needs
his own signature moment.
That's black with no stripes on it with his alien eyes.
When he threw up Deuce, that was iconic. That was great. I don't care.
Yeah, but then he followed it up with "We did it."
We did it. And it's iconic now. Every time someone wins a championship, you'll go on TikTok and people will use that audio over their favorite player winning a championship. It's iconic.
Every time I do anything good, I use
it. It's a meme. It's not iconic.
Literally, after we won the Super Bowl, I was like, we did it. We did it. I don't care. It's iconic. I don't care.
Biggest highlight is Kenny Pickett getting on the field.
Yes. That was my least favorite.
And the ball off 3 times and then threw a duck. But yes, he did do that. With
just a variant, Kenneth Gainwell gets in the Super Bowl. Thank you.
Jalen Hurts. Y'all know me. I'm not a quarterbacks aren't a win stat guy. I'm not a intangibles person. I'm not on that. But at some point, I have to just be like, yeah, they win a lot, and he's been a big reason for it. I don't like. It's so tough. Like it's if we're ranking quarterbacks off Jalen Hurts' standards, he would be too, because winning is the only thing that matters. That's obviously not everything that goes into a quarterback, though. Their skill, accolades, things of that nature. So, of course, I have the 3 MVPs ahead of him: Mahomes, Jackson, Allen. Yes, in that order. I'll say this though. I'll say this. If one of those other 2 guys can represent the AFC in the Super Bowl next year, we will then be open to conversations about who has won, because then we will be a couple years separated from his last championship. But Mahomes will be 1 for now. Jackson, Allen. The thing is that
What if,
Burrow
what if
and
that guy's
Herbert.
Burrow? I was gonna say, what if that guy's Burrow or Herbert?
Hey, then they can start. Then they can enter some conversations with the other two.
What if that
It's a
guy's Trevor
little bit of a
Lawrence?
leap. Like let's say Lawrence. Here's the thing with Lawrence. With me, he just has to show me that. Just show me your second year over again, and you're fine. You're good. Like when you're on the field, you're fine. It's just you got to be on the field, and you got to have. I'm excited for him, Liam Cohen. But with those two guys, it's like if Herbert and Burrow pair an MVP with a Super Bowl appearance, oh yeah, we're in conversations again for sure, for sure. With Jalen though, Jalen may never win an MVP. He may never do it just because they're like, oh, your team's too good. He almost did it, but he got hurt. Things happen. Jalen, though, I'm open. I'm going to put him at 6 because I'm a big, skill guy, how you throw the ball, all those type of things. And I'd argue as high as Chris said, I'd argue as high as 4. Because at some point, the argument's got to start stopping. An argument can't keep starting with if. That's for all quarterbacks. Burrow and Herbert, your conversations can't start with, oh, if they had weapons, if they had a defense, if they had an offensive line. And Jalen Hurts can't start with, well, if he didn't have A.J. Brown and he didn't have Saquon Barkley and his coaching staff wasn't amazing. It's just got to stop. Sometimes you got to play with the cards you're dealt. Mahomes plays with the cards he's dealt. He's great. Lamar Jackson played with the cards he's dealt. He's a 2-time MVP. You could argue he should have been a 3-time MVP, 2-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time first-team All-Pro. Josh Allen played with debatably the worst cards out of all of them, and he was on the doorstep of the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Those 3 top guys and Hurts, the arguments don't start with if, they start with what they've done. The other 2 guys, unfortunately, the conversation starts with if. So
then we bring Matt Stafford into the top 5. I'm kidding.
Look, you know how I feel about Stafford, man. I feel, man. That's my guy, and he's a Steeler. But
you have no idea how good Matt Stafford was.
No, unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers is Steeler, Daniel. I'm sorry to tell you.
Oh yeah, he's so Steeler, it's crazy. Except what was it? Deshaun Elliott? Is he the one that said get him in a retirement home?
That's my former Raven right there. I know one.
Man, guess what? That means Devontae Adams coming too, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
you like my fire.
You take it.
Man, look. A-Rod with Devontae Adams and Devontae Adams and Pickens is not the worst thing.
I'll be there.
Some would say it's an improvement over Russell Wilson.
I have no choice but to be there.
I'm sure it's not hard. I could go out there and probably be an upgrade.
But also, too, I do want to
Ones would argue that Fields could go out there and be an upgrade. But
because he would be. We'll talk soon. I do want to say this about Joe Burrow. We talk about everybody having these 2 guys, like they have. Jalen Hurts has A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Joe Burrow has had T. Higgins and Jamar Chase for years on years and years. Had Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Won. Why? Conversations will be had next year. If something don't happen, I will be starting those conversations.
Because I'm talking about his defense is bad and his offensive line. You know where all the defensive arguments go out the window for me? Jalen Hurts took the 31st worst defense to 11 wins.
That's all I'm saying.
They started 10-1. And then when people were like, oh, James Bradbury is really washed, that's something that's out of Jalen Hurts' control, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So Jalen Hurts has had bad defenses. He's done the thing. His defense has led up 38 points in the Super Bowl, and he put up 35. He did what he could. Joe Burrow also put up 10 points against the Patriots.
That's all I'm saying.
Find plenty of stinkers that have nothing to do with his defense. His defense spotted him 2 touchdowns against the Ravens on the road, and they lost.
Because Lamar's Houdini. And Lamar had a safety playing defensive end at parts of the year this year. Kyle Hamilton was playing defensive end.
Exactly. The Ravens for half the year were like, whoa, not only is this not last year's defense, this defense is just genuinely not good. Yeah. Kyle Hamilton goes back to where the issue is, and they're all good. So, I don't know. That's my thing. I'm done with the if arguments. I'm done with put so and so player on this team. I'm done. Deal with the cards you're dealt. Jalen Hurts may have a little bit of a different standard because he's not asked to do what the other guys are what they're doing. But here's what I can fall back on: when they ask him to do it, he does it. He delivers time and time again. I will start acting like a Jimmy Butler fan and be like, "Oh yeah, you want to compare playoff stats? Because I'll do it. It'll get nasty here." It will get nasty, but I will never do that against Lamar, though, because things happen, and it's okay. things happen. We have bad days, but you know what? Let me just stand on business. I think Jalen Hurts is fourth. I think he's the fourth best quarterback in the NFL. I'm just going to stand on it.
That's what I said.
Who do you have? Burrow over him? You were saying like he's four. Okay. Oh, he's top 5.
Yeah, he's 5.
Okay. He's 5. Who would be your 4? Herbert? Stafford? Herbert. He's such a. It sucks that he decided to play the 2 worst games of his career in the postseason.
Herbert's better than Burrow. Come on.
What's the difference between Herbert and Trevor Lawrence?
Honestly, not a lot. There really isn't a lot. The only issue is Herbert had the benefit of at least a human, a person at head coach for his first couple years. And Herbert had the amazing year 2, and he hasn't really ever had a bad season. Not even close. He's had Pro Bowl caliber seasons every single year he's in the league. I think him and Lawrence's ceilings, Lawrence and Herbert's ceilings are identical. I truly believe that. Lawrence is a little bit more susceptible to falling down the Wentz path than the Herbert path. So it's just because he's a little more flimsy with the ball. That's all. But they are very similar. I would agree.
That's my question. That's why I think like for Herbert, I think I said this point early in the season. It's like I like everything he has, but it's like the difference between him and Trevor Lawrence isn't that big to me, and I don't have Trevor Lawrence anywhere near my top 5. So it's like for me, I don't know like where I would even I don't know where I would put Herbert. Like I'm not saying Danny's wrong. I just don't know where I would put him. That's why I asked, because I don't know. I would have Herbert anywhere from like 6 to like 9. I think like just off the top of my head, right? Just thinking, I'll probably have him there, but like I don't even know where I have Lawrence at, and I don't know like the super huge difference between them. That's why I asked.
I get you. They kind of have a similar play style, but one just Herbert puts up better stats. Like he puts up better stats. He doesn't throw the ball over as much. It's pretty much that simple. But that's pretty much everything from our Super Bowl 59 recap.
Go enjoy the parade tomorrow.
Yep, that's what we'll be doing, man.
I will not be there, unfortunately.
It's all right. I'll celebrate for Jalen Hurts on your behalf, which is going to take a lot out of me. But
I just need multiple pictures of Jalen Hurts, and I'll be all right.
I will do my best. You might just get Cam Jurgens at best, though.
That's cool.
We'll see.
We'll see. Cam Jurgens, whether it's Kenny Gainwell, whether it's Boston Scott off the practice squad, he's not even on there. But
yeah. But from AP New Freezer, coached by Migos DC Comics, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Timmy Jernigan highlights coming.